All right, the next shade we're gonna use is, dare I say, my favorite shade in the palette. I'm not even gonna tell you about it, I'm just gonna show you because I gasped when I first applied this. Hi friends, today's video is so exciting. I'm gonna be creating a look using the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette. This is called Rose Metals. Just wait till you see this palette in action. It's absolutely insane, and I'm so excited because I'm actually working with Anastasia Beverly Hills on this video. What an incredible full circle moment for me, you guys. You know how much I love Anastasia Beverly Hills, especially their eyeshadow palettes. I have been creating videos and reviewing their palettes since the beginning of my channel. This palette is perfect for fall. It's 90s glam inspired, which I think is so fun. Let me show you the outer packaging first. So we have this kind of taupey, metallic, almost leather textured packaging on the box, and then you open it up to reveal the palette itself. It has a really nice leather-like texture to it, and of course it's metallic just like the outer carton. I actually got to try this out before it launched, so I've had a few days to play around with it, and I cannot wait to show you my favorite look that I've created so far. Here's the palette in all its glory. Obviously, since I've been playing with it, you can definitely see that I've dug into it, so I will go ahead and pop up a fresh video footage of what it looked like when I first opened it, because it is such a beautiful color scheme. There's mixes of metallics and mattes and the most insane metallic-y shimmer shades that we'll get to once I apply them to the eyes. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna start off by swatching everything for you. I am ready. Bring on more glamorous looks and bring on more of those like grungy looks, which I think is so fun because I've noticed that that's trending right now, and this palette is literally perfect to achieve it. Oh, you guys. Just wait till you see these swatches and wait till you see them in action. I'm not kidding you. I have been mesmerized by this palette since receiving it in the mail. Okay, you guys know swatches are not my forte, but I think I did a pretty good job here. All right, so we're gonna start with the top row and then move into the bottom row. So first up we have the shade Rose Quartz, which is described as a metallic pink champagne with sparkly reflex. The next one is Royal, which is a sparkling burgundy with pink reflex. This one right here may or may not be my favorite in the palette. I can't wait to show you this on the eyes later. This is called Haze. It's described as a metallic silver gold with multi-dimension reflex. Next is Rose Fire, which is a metallic fiery copper with multi-dimensional reflex. Sunrose is a matte peachy brown with sparkling reflex. Nova is a metallic golden bronze with multi-dimensional reflex. Next up, this is another one of my favorite shades so far. It's a metallic platinum gold with multi-dimensional reflex. This is called Heavenly. This shade right here is called Element, and it's a metallic rosy brown. Next to that, we have Ashes, which is a matte grayish taupe with sparkling reflex. Next is Dune, which is a matte rustic brown. Nocturne, which is a metallic graystone with sparkling reflex. And last but not least, we have Noble, which is a matte plum brown. You'll also notice the pan size is a lot larger than previous Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, which is really great. So you get a lot more product in here. And the palette also has a really, really nice high quality mirror in the top with a magnetic closure. It is so beautiful. So again, I'm gonna show you guys my favorite look that I created using this. I tried out all the different shades on my eyes. I tried several different looks, and the one that I'm gonna show you is by far my favorite so far. I did my brows off camera. I actually just barely picked up a new Brow Wiz pencil. It's been so long and I've been meaning to restock this. So this is the Brow Wiz in ash brown, and then I kind of cleaned up the edges with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pro pencil, which I also just picked up. These two used to be favorites of mine, so I wanted to revisit them. I'm gonna do a classic eyeshadow prime with concealer and powder. So I'm gonna take the Anastasia Magic Touch Concealer. This is in the shade 1, and I'm just gonna blend that out all over the eyes as my base. I'm just gonna press it in with my fingertip. And then I actually also picked up a powder that I've always wanted to try. This is also from Anastasia. This is their loose setting powder, and I got the shade Vanilla. I'm gonna be using that to lightly set the concealer on the eyes, just to make that perfect canvas before going into shadow. I'm also taking it into the brows a little bit, just to soften things and to also kind of set the brows and get rid of any shiny finish in the brows as well. Okay, time for the fun part. There's actually so many things you can do with this palette. You'll notice how there's some cool tones in here, which is the direction that I'm gonna go today. But you can also do something pretty warm and toasty with these colors right here. There's also some incredible bronze colors. This all over the lid is insane. You can also go a little bit rosy toned with some of these colors here. I feel like this palette is definitely for glamorous occasions. The shimmers really pack a punch, and everything looks really sophisticated and sultry. So I'm gonna start off my look with the shade Ashes, which is more of that taupey brown. A little goes a long way with this. It's super pigmented, as always. I feel like all of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes are really pigmented and also really easy to work with, so this has a really nice blend to it. I truly used just a small amount, and I'm just taking my brush, going back and forth, making sure that it's blended fully. I want the transition shade to move up into my brow area really seamlessly. So I'm just gonna be here for a minute, making sure to blend this out. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on this eye. I'm telling you, I am in such a fall mood. It's so fun. It's still kind of warm outside, but I put on my sweater and I'm ready to do a 90s inspired fall glam. We're going all out today with this. It's just been too long, you know? And technically it's officially fall. I think it was officially fall on like the 22nd, so even if it's still warm outside, I've got all of my fall decor out. I've been burning my pumpkin candles. It's a whole thing. We're gonna go right into a little bit of a smoky eye using the shade Noble. So this is what I'm gonna use to kind of start to ground the edge of the eye. This is an absolutely beautiful shade. Again, a little goes a long way. So I'm just tapping off the brush and kind of starting to pack that around the lash line. And then we're gonna work up in a diagonal shape right here. And once there's a little less on the brush, as you can see, it's kind of blending out as there's less product on the brush. So when I have just a little left, I'm gonna start to kind of sculpt the crease using what's left so that it's not like a stark line, but I can start to kind of create that dimension and smokiness that I'm looking for using this color. We're starting to build out the shape. I think it looks so nice paired with that first color. They work really well together. I'm gonna build up a little bit more on that very edge of the eye, and then again, work it into the crease. I love the hint of plum in this shade. I think it makes it such a unique dark brown color. Oh, things are coming together, folks. I'm so excited. I'm gonna take that first brush that we were using and just gently go around the edges. This is the brush that we used with the transition shade. So I'm just making sure that everything's blended out. I'm not too concerned about fallout at this point. That's why I'm doing my eyes first. You guys know anytime I do a more glamorous look, I do my eyes first, and especially with this palette, since it is such a glamorous palette, I would definitely recommend doing your eyes first, so that way you can just smoke things out, not worry about it, and then clean up the fallout before moving on to your base. All right, the next shade we're gonna use is, dare I say, my favorite shade in the palette. That is this one right here called Haze. I'm not even gonna tell you about it, I'm just gonna show you because I gasped when I first applied this. I'm just gonna take it on my fingertip and I'm gonna start to focus this on just the center of the eyelid. So it's a really, really nice, very, very soft metallic. Like the texture of it is so buttery. So I'm just taking my time and kind of pressing and swiping really, really lightly to start to build that pigment up onto the eye. It's so pigmented, I literally just did one little dip on my fingertip and it already looks like this. I mean, come on. Oh my goodness. This, oh, like I'm obsessed with it. And I was also in more dim lighting when I created this look. The way that it reflects underneath dim light is out of this world. It has such beautiful, very noticeable glitter pigments in there. It's obviously not like a pressed glitter, but for a metallic shade, it has very visible flecks of glitter in it, which I love, especially for a more smoky eye like this. You guys know how much I obsess over anything sparkly on the eyes, and this shade and texture is just something special. So you'll notice I'm kind of just focusing it on the center of the eye, and then I'm moving it out slightly toward that matte brown color that we were using, just gently, but I want most of that focus to be on the very center and then majority of the inner portion of the eyelid. Oh my gosh, it's just so good. I'm gonna take that same fluffy brush that we were using for the transition shade, and I'm gonna go in and just make sure the edges are blended. I'm gonna go in with the brush that we were using for the matte dark brown and just kind of take what's left on the brush and scribble it on the very edge, just to make sure that that transition is very seamless from the center of the eye to the outer corner. And I feel like my studio lights never do shimmers justice. I mean, it looks gorgeous on my monitor, but in person, this color and this palette is just insane. So next we're gonna go in with another favorite of mine. This is called Heavenly. It's heavenly. I really love this color. It's so unique. I'm gonna take that on a brush and start to kind of fill in where we don't have eyeshadow on that very inner corner of the eye. With every single look that I created so far using this palette, I used this shade as the inner corner, and it just works with everything. Whether I was doing something more purpley or more bronzy, the shade Heavenly really adds something glamorous and fun to the inner corner. And I love that it kind of has more of an antique feel to it for an inner corner highlight. I want a little bit more definition on the very outer edge of the eye, so I'm gonna dip into this color right here called Nocturne. It is a shimmer shade, but it actually looks really cool used as more of an eyeliner. So I'm gonna take the Anastasia Dewy setting spray, kind of get that damp, and then press it into the back of my hand to create a little bit of an eyeliner. I'm just gonna take that and just go right up against the outer corner of those top lashes, just to create a little bit more dimension there. And I'm stopping about halfway across the eye because I want most of that depth to be on the outer corner for more of a lifted look. Before I wipe away any fallout, I'm just gonna go in with mascara on just the top lashes for now. And I'm not gonna be shy, I'm gonna do several coats since we're going all out, we're going full glam. All right, now I'm gonna clean up the fallout underneath the eyes, just using a makeup wipe, and I'm gonna also clean up the edge a little bit. I'm gonna go a little more straight outward with the angle of my outer corner here. Sometimes I angle it upward, but for this look, I want it to be more straight across. And I'm just gonna press down that line with my finger so that there's nothing harsh. Next, I'm gonna take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I actually recently bought this. It was a couple weeks ago at this point. I've been wanting to try this foundation for so long, and I finally tried it out the other day. It's really, really pretty. This one's in the shade 140N, which is just a little bit deep for me right now, but I feel like once I blend it out and once the look is fully completed with like concealer and everything, I can definitely make this color work. I bought it online, so sometimes that's hard, you know, to get the shade match right. So I did my best. I'm just gonna press that in with my sponge. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. And you guys know I love to mix these two shades, 1 and 4. So I'm gonna start off with 4. And I'm gonna kind of do like 2 dots pretty far down under the eye. Let's see, I also wanna use this over blemishes. So I'm just gonna use this to kind of conceal anything and to brighten anything that I want. I'm gonna now mix in the shade 1 to add a bit more brightness, especially underneath the eyes and down the very center of the face. And then I'm just gonna go through and blend all of this out with my sponge. Next, I'm just gonna warm up the complexion using the Anastasia Cream Bronzer in Sunkissed. And then I'm just gonna set the under eyes and the entire face using that same Anastasia loose powder that we used to set the concealer on the eyelids. Okay, let's finish up the lower lash line. We're gonna work backwards from the deepest shades that I used to the lighter ones. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Noble, which was that really nice plummy dark brown. And I'm gonna start with that on the very outer corner to start to build that depth and dimension, and also connecting it to the existing shade on that top lid. Next, I'm gonna take the shade Haze, and I'm gonna make sure to spray the brush with that same setting spray. I'm gonna tap it into the back of my hand till it turns into almost a liquid shadow. And I'm gonna start to apply this on the very center of that lower lash line. Look how pretty it looks. When you spray it with a setting spray, it gets even more intense. And I also find that it helps prevent as much fallout as possible on the lower lash line if you're wanting to use some of the more metallic shades. This looks so beautiful on the lower lash line. This color, I'm telling you, it's incredible. I'm beyond obsessed with this shade. Okay, I'm gonna kind of dust off that brush and then dip into the shade Heavenly, just lightly. Again, making sure that the brush stays damp. And I'm gonna use this color to kind of complete that inner third. I'm gonna blend it into that other color and then connect it in the inner corner a little bit more as well. I'm just taking my powder brush that I used under the eyes to just quickly sweep away any fallout. And then we're gonna kind of add a transition shade now using that same color we used on the top lid. This is called Ashes. I'm just gonna gently use that to buff out those colors. Underneath the lower lash line, we're gonna really smoke things out. You only need a little bit for this, but I think that it really helps kind of add to that grunginess to really smoke out the lower lash line. I'm going back in with what's left on the powder brush just to kind of blend that in even more. And then I'm gonna finish off the look with just some lower lash mascara. I also just picked up the Anastasia highlighter in the shade Iced Out. I don't know what took me so long to pick this up because I swatched it in the store. Let me see if I can get this on camera. Look at this. Ah, it's so pretty, and I know so many of you guys love this, so I'm happy to finally own it. I'm gonna use this to highlight, obviously. I'm just gonna pick it up with a highlighting brush, and I'm just gonna start buffing this out on the high points of the cheeks. Gives such a pretty golden glow. Wow. I told you guys we were going full glam today. I'm just gonna pop a little bit down the center of the nose and on the Cupid's bow. And I'm even gonna take the tiniest bit of this just to use as a brow bone highlight on the highest points of the brow. I'm just gently pressing that in with my sponge. And then I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite cream blushes of all time, which is also from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their cream blush in the shade Latte. It's just stunning. So I'm gonna pick that up on the bottom of my sponge. I felt like this color worked so well with the eyeshadow look. So I'm just going to smile and apply this to the apples of the cheeks. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. And to really complete this 90s glam inspired look, I'm gonna take one of my current favorite lip liners. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I've been using this like crazy on my channel. It's their lip liner in the shade Deep Taupe. I truly feel like this will help complete all of the 90s vibes. It's such a gorgeous color. So I'm just gonna line the lips first and then take my finger and just blend that out, just to soften it a little bit. After lining and blending, I'm actually filling in the outer corners of the lips just to give it a little bit more of a pouty effect. And then to finish off the lip look, I'm gonna take this color. It's a satin lipstick from Anastasia. This is in the shade Taupe Beige. These two together are so beautiful. Oh, I love this lip combo. I wore it out the other night and I was just in love with the effect that it gave my lips. It made them look fuller. It's like very 90s, but also very wearable, very comfortable. I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna assess the situation and kind of press on a little bit more bronzer with whatever's left on the brush. I'm also gonna tap in a bit more blush with whatever's on the sponge. I'm also brushing away any mascara marks that got on the lid. I'm gonna set the face with the Anastasia Dewy Set Setting Spray. Once that's about halfway dried, I'm gonna take my sponge and just press everything into the skin one more time. And I finally picked up the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I have been wanting to try this for so long. So I'm gonna use this to set the brows. I'm gonna take just a little more of my favorite shade called Haze and just gently press that into the very center of the lid just for an extra metallic reflect. This shade, I'm telling you, oh my gosh, I love it so much. All right, you guys, so that completes this makeup look using the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Rose Metals eyeshadow palette. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I created. This is truly my favorite look that I've created so far. I will definitely be using this palette more on my channel. It's absolutely beautiful. I have been so inspired by this and so excited to use it every day since I received it in the mail. I'll try to get up close so that you can see how stunning and reflective these metallics are. The metallics definitely are what shine in this. So again, it's a palette that's for glamorous occasions, like when you want to feel just so put together, a little more on the glam side, a little bit 90s grunge inspired. This is the palette for you. I am so happy about this, so happy about the color scheme. I think it's one of the best palettes they've actually ever launched. You guys know I'm a huge fan of so many Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes. Each one is so craveable and collectible, but this one especially for my personal taste and with fall, it's everything that I need in an eyeshadow palette and then some. I'm so excited about this palette. I can't wait to keep using it on my channel. Let me know if you'd like to see me create more looks with this because I feel like a lot of you guys are probably going to enjoy this as much as I do. And so if you end up picking this up, I would love to keep creating looks with it because there's just so much you can do. And the warm tone looks and the bronzy looks that you can create with this are stunning as well. Huge thanks again to Anastasia Beverly Hills for sponsoring today's video. This is such a pinch me moment. It's truly an honor to be able to work with them and especially to help them spread the word on a new eyeshadow palette. I'm truly honored, and this is another incredible palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm gonna be using this for the rest of the year. I just know it already. All the products that I mentioned will be linked in the description box down below, so be sure to check them out. This palette is now available, so if you're looking to refresh your fall makeup bag, this will also be linked in the description box down below for you guys. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. I hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.